Hi, it's Maureen Muldoon, and we are on lesson 65 with A Course in Miracles, the workbook lesson. My only function is the one God gave me. My only function is the one God gave me. The idea for today reaffirms your commitment to salvation. It also reminds you that you have no other function than that. Both these thoughts are obviously necessary for a total commitment. Salvation cannot be the only purpose you hold while you still cherish others. The full acceptance of salvation as your only function necessarily entails two phases: the recognition of salvation as your function, and the relinquishment of all other goals you have invented for yourself. So it's basically saying, if you're really saying, my only function is the one that God gave me, then we have to let go of all of our alternative, altars and all of our side gigs, that we think that we have to do. And you just have to let it all go and say, sincerely, commit to this being your only gig, the function that God gave you. So this is the only way in which you can take your rightful place among the saviors of the world. This is the only way in which you can say and mean, my only function is the one that God gave me. This is the only way in which you can find peace of mind. Today, and for a number of days to follow, set aside 10 to 15 minutes and for a more substantial practice period in which you'll try to understand and accept what the idea for the day really means. Today's idea offers you an escape from all your previous difficulties. It places the keys to the door of peace, which you have closed upon yourself, in your own hands, and it gives you the answer to all the searching you have done since time began. That's a pretty good gig. It's a pretty good deal we're being offered right there. It's like saying, you got everything right here. It's giving you the keys to the door of peace that you've shut upon yourself, putting it in your hands. This is the keys to our own peace, to our own salvation. So it goes on to say, try if possible to undertake the daily extended practice periods at approximately the same time each day. Try also to determine this time in advance and then adhere to it as closely as possible. The purpose of this is to arrange your day so that you have set apart the time for God as well as for all the trivial purposes and goals that you'll pursue. This is part of the long-range disciplinary training your mind needs so that the Holy Spirit can use it consistently for the purpose He shares with you. So think about it. If we can't be consistent enough to say, okay, for the 15 minutes at 12 o'clock, I'm going to settle down and seek first God and just turn my attention to God. If we can't even give that up, then we're not going to be able to embody this lesson. And it's not much to ask. We can do it for sure. But the dealio is to plan it. They say fail to plan, plan to fail. So we want to make the plan, and it's advising us to make the plan beforehand so that it actually shows up. If it's not on our calendar, we're not going to be there. It's just think about it like you're kind of making a date with a friend. You write it down. You show up to it. You don't go, oh gosh, something else came up, or the ego can find a million ways to distract you. You and I both know that. So we're being asked to be a little more intentional about it. It says, for the longer practice periods, begin by reviewing the idea for the day. My only function is the one that God gave me. And then close your eyes, repeat the idea to yourself once again. My only function is the one that God gave me. And then watch your mind carefully to catch whatever thoughts cross it. At first, make no attempt to concentrate only on thoughts related to the idea for the day. Rather, try to uncover each thought that arises to interfere with it. Note each one as it comes to you with little involvement or concern as possible, and dismiss each one by telling yourself, this thought reflects a goal that is preventing me from accepting my only function. So it's literally saying to us, if you have distracted thoughts in your mind, don't try and push them away and only think thoughts consistent with the idea, but actually look at those thoughts and say to those thoughts, this is the thought that is distracting me from my goal. What I like to say is, when I guide people in meditation, is I say, gently say to yourself, if the thought comes up that's not in alignment with the lesson, say to that thought just simply, not right now, I'm spending time with the divine. Not right now. I'm spending time with the divine. And if you have to sit for 15 minutes and the only thing that crosses your mind is you telling every single thought, not right now, I'm spending time with the divine, so be it. That's where you're at. Don't judge it. I've been there some days, you know. If I'm honest, I'm there most days, actually. Alright, so after a while, interfering thoughts will become harder and harder to find. That's the good news. So stay with it, stick with it. Try, however, to continue a minute or so longer, attempting to catch a few of the idle thoughts that escaped your attention before. But do not strain to make undue effort in doing this, and then tell yourself, on this clean slate, let my true function be written for me. On this clean slate, let my true function be written for me. You need not use these exact words, but try to get the sense of being willing to have your illusions of purpose be replaced by truth. Finally, repeat the idea for today once more. My only function is the one that God gave me. And devote the rest of the practice period to try and focus on its importance to you. The relief that its acceptance will bring to you by resolving your conflicts once and for all, and the extent to which you really want salvation in spite of your own foolish ideas to the contrary. In the shorter practice periods, which should be undertaken at least once an hour, use this form in applying today's idea. My only function is the one that God gave me. I want no other, and I have no other. My only function is the one that God gave me. I want no other, and I have no other. Simple enough. Today, sometimes close your eyes as you practice this, and sometimes keep them open and look about you. My only function is the one that God gave me. I want no other, and I have no other. What you see now, that will totally... Okay, sorry. Keep them open about... sometimes close your eyes and practice it, and sometimes keep them open and look about you. It is what you see now that will be totally changed when you accept today's idea completely. So this is a lovely lesson to help guide us into being more consistent with our relationship with our function, which is forgiveness, which is happiness, which is whatever the Holy Spirit deems it to be. And we can give up, and it's necessary that we do, give up all our alternative agendas so that we can create or offer up that blank slate on which the Holy Spirit can write our function. And the more that we practice this, the lighter that we'll get, the more unencumbered we'll be, and the more we'll be able to experience true happiness. And isn't that a worthy goal? A little peace and happiness. So my only function is the one that God gave me. Try it out, practice it, and practice makes perfect. If you like this video, you can go ahead and click like or subscribe, share it with your friends, but mostly, take the time to really embody the lesson. That's the most important thing here. And because the world needs your peace and happiness. It needs you to bring that light into the world. That is a necessary part of this whole journey that we're on. So thanks for staying the course. Mostly, that's what I wanted to say.